In 2017, I got a text that went something like this. Ooh. Okay, so hypothetical question. I have a hypothetical answer ready. If, hypothetically, I did not like a cappella, how would you hypothetically react? Now, most people would respond with something cool, suave, maybe a little bit flirty. I envy those people. I would, hypothetically of course, respect that and realize to each their own, and remember that some people view dubstep as the highest form of art. Great, well, I don't like a cappella. But dubstep is not the highest form of art. This conversation began because I sent her one of my favorite a cappella songs. I first heard that song in 8th grade. It was the first time I had heard pop a cappella, and really the first time I had heard a mashup. That song was one of the biggest reasons why I wanted to start an a cappella group. I mean, how could anybody not like it? I guess it's fair to say I have a pretty specific taste in music, and anyone who knows me even slightly won't be surprised that music will be my subject for the next 9 minutes or so. Hello. My name is Koji Shimada, and this is my senior sage. Now, you might know me as this, maybe this, hopefully this, and definitely this. I mean, I did just show 3 giant photos of myself at assembly, so. But my point is, if you know me, it's likely because of the music I do here. And since I have you all hostage, I'm gonna talk about 2 of those, a cappella and jazz. Let's start with a cappella. Now, I just played that for you. I love that song. It is the perfect representation of what modern a cappella can be. But let's be honest, a cappella is a weird thing. I mean, musical instruments exist, but in a cappella, we don't use them. Now, a cappella for us, the group, it's incredibly fun, and for you, the audience, it's obviously incredibly sexy, but musically, it can be lacking. We do covers, and without instruments to produce different sounds, sometimes it can just sound boring, unless we surprise you with the arrangement. Variety or some surprise is almost a necessity, and so a cappella's goal is to take something you know and keep you entertained by changing it. All of my favorite arrangements do this, like this one. Or this one. Side note, I'm not a big Shakira fan, but that mashup is just so good, I had to include it. The key thing about changing the song, though, is keeping it similar enough so that you don't alienate your audience. You want to surprise them enough to keep them interested, but not so much so that they don't like it. And that can be a really fine line. But that's the goal with a cappella, working within the guidelines to surprise your audience. Okay, store that away. So what about jazz? Of course. Okay, good. Phew. What about pure jazz? Yeah, I like that too. I just think instruments are essential to music. That's why I don't like a cappella. Okay, well, listen to the first minute of this. Well, we got 1 out of 2. Not bad. This is what I sent her. Now, we don't have time to get into how cool this song is, But this to me is a great example of what jazz is all about. Jazz is about doing something new. It's about throwing out the guidelines and creating whatever you want. Almost every great jazz song has a solo section, and it's where the artist creates something entirely new for that specific recording. A lot of jazz songs were just made up on the spot, some people in a room playing whatever. It took me a while to get into more pure jazz, to be honest. I am a big fan of 1940s swing and Frank Sinatra, which is great, but those are less about doing something new. Someone like Clifford Brown or Miles Davis was creating new things every night, and that's become one of my favorite parts of playing jazz. The freedom and opportunity to just play anything. And it could be anything from this. Oh. Whoops, I skipped one. My bad. But yeah, Coltrane's a crazy person. So why have I been talking to you about a cappella and jazz? I mean, I could have spent my sage talking about my insecurities, or how I believe Boston Dynamics is going to someday kill us all. But one, I've had a really great time here at SSA, and a speech like that wouldn't be representative of that. And two, as I was thinking about this speech, I realized that a cappella and jazz were metaphoric for how I approached my education at Shady Side, and I want to encourage you all to do the same. This speech, it's not really about music, despite the last 6 minutes. It's about being creative to different levels. Doing something different from everyone else while staying within the rubric your teacher gave you, that's a cappella. Doing something totally creative where you have no limits, that's jazz. I remember a French project where we had to make something art-related based off of this children's book. Most of the class formed small groups to make movies, while I wrote and performed a parody of Agony from Into the Woods. That's a cappella. Running your own comic for a year and a half in the school bulletin, that's jazz. For my history monument project, Oliver Henry and I paired up to make a satirical monument that immortalized General Robert E. Lee's gold shaving razor. That's a cappella. Doing a senior project where you design the whole thing independently, jazz. All of these were way more fun for me because of the different directions they went in. Doing things that are new and different is more engaging, more personal, and more fulfilling than just rotely following a rubric. And I'm sure it's more fun for your teachers who have to grade all of the assignments, and for your classmates who have to sit through them. And the great thing is, Shady Side gives you the freedom and opportunity to do and try new things. So take advantage of it. Start a new club, organize a field trip. When you get that essay prompt that's really leading you to answer a certain way, take a risk and answer it differently. Doing that always made the work feel less like work for me, because I found ways to put what I love into those essays, projects, or speeches. Try to bring something fresh to your studies or your activities, somewhere on the creative spectrum from a cappella to jazz, and you'll enjoy it more and create something really memorable. So flash forward to 2019. I got a text from the same person that went something like this. That is so cool, I love it. Yeah, I liked how they mashed it up. Wow, so you like mashups? You know that's like the trademark of a cappella, right? It's as if you're one step closer to liking a cappella. And then, after 2 years of knowing her, 2 more years of me singing a cappella, 2 more years of sharing music with her, and after sending her this speech, do you know what she said to me? I will never, ever like a cappella. Thank you.